Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video, we are going to be counting down the 10 best action figure releases of this year, by my estimation. And of course, as I say always, I have to say it every time just in case you haven't heard it before, these lists are incredibly subjective, so any of these could be rearranged in many different ways, and there's plenty of figures that could have made it that I didn't put on the list that maybe if I made it tomorrow, it would be a different list. But this is the one I came up with this time. And of course, it doesn't include figures that I don't have yet. There are some things that may be on here that haven't been reviewed yet that you guys have seen, but I've seen them, I've handled them, I've filmed them, I just haven't made the videos public yet. But there are a couple things that I haven't received yet at the time of creating this, so I can't include them on the list, and maybe they would have been on there, but I don't have them yet, so I can't do it. But anyway, this is my top 10 list of the best figures this year based on quality and subjective things that push them over the top for whatever reason, which I'll try to describe as we go. But let's go ahead and get started with a couple of honorable mentions. And the first honorable mention is the in-art Arkham Origins Batman. And the reason I'm not making this on the list officially is because it's not out yet. It's a pre-release sample, which doesn't really count, but it is freaking cool, and I don't know how to handle that. I guess maybe it'll make the list next year if it turns out to be any different, or if it's good anyway. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. Never had a pre-release that was a whole year ahead of time, but it's a really cool figure with a few issues, a few caveats, particularly being the scale and the weird knees, but still it's an awesome figure, and it's like one of the best looking figures of all time, so I had to mention it somehow, but I didn't want to put it on the list in any official way. And then the second honorable mention is the Marvel vs. Capcom Wolverine from Marvel Legends, and yeah, like, it's a really, really good Marvel Legends figure. I love it to pieces. It does have its own share of flaws, as all figures do, of course, but it is a Hasbro figure with Hasbro-style flaws, so it's not like some kind of record-setting figure, you know, across the board, but it is a really nice release nonetheless, and unfortunately it does come in a 2-pack that's really undesirable, so plenty of reasons to not fit it on the proper list, but I did want to mention it. It is a great figure, and I definitely recommend it. Now, coming in at number 10, we have the Grey Knight Sylvanas, and this figure is really, really cool. It comes with a lot of cool accessories, it's sculpted really well, it's painted really well. The reason it's not higher on the list, there's really two main things. One is that the color scheme, it's not quite right. Like, she looks pretty good, and she kind of matches the one cinematic, but it's not exactly the way people want it to be. She should be more purple, of course, and the hair should be a different color. So yeah, it's not exactly right in that sense. And then also, it can be pretty tricky to pose her, due to all of the things that are on her. And so, like, yeah, you can work around it, but it is kind of a pain in the butt. So she looks great. A few little caveats to keep her from being any better, though. Alright, so coming in at number 9, we have the Medi Cargath, which is just a really cool orc. And I don't think last year, or did I? I don't know if I included the third-party stuff last year, but I'm doing it this year because they're freaking good figures, and I can't not do it. But this guy, he's just like, there's not really anything wrong with him. He poses really well, comes with a bunch of stuff, looks great. The sculpt work and paint work from Medi or Hero or Memory or whatever you want to call them, it's all phenomenal. The figures are really fun to handle. They're really basically right along the lines of how I would design all of the figures they're making. They do a really, really good job with that. So I had to put him on the list, even though he's just kind of like I mean, I guess he's kind of a named character, but he's just kind of a general orc for people who aren't into WoW very much. But yeah, really cool figure. And then coming in at number 8, we have the in-art Wukong, the 6-inch one, the 6-inch regular little monkey guy. And this is just an exceptional figure. It's really, really nice. It mixes soft goods and sculpted plastic with just an incredible amount of detail, both in the sculpt and the paintwork, and in the, I guess it's probably digital printing on the soft goods. And then on top of that, all of the soft goods have wiring, or at least basically all of them, just really loaded with detail. It looks exquisite, and it poses pretty darn well too, and it comes with a ton of great accessories. The only reason it's not higher on the list is I did have a few issues with, like, joints being a little bit loose to hold weapons and things like that. Like, it's not perfect, but it's not any kind of like real major problem. But yeah, it's a really, really good figure, and I guess one of the problems, I guess you could say, is that you have to buy the deluxe or whatever it's called version to get everything that he comes with, but you're still getting a ton of bang for your buck. It's a really, really good figure. And then coming in at number 7, we have the in-art Batman, which is the Christian Bale version. And this figure, like if you guys saw the figure before, if you saw my review, you know how great this thing is. It's probably the best Christian Bale likeness on anything at this scale, and or certainly anything at this scale, and maybe even more, maybe even the 112 stuff. It's an incredibly good likeness, and the paint job and sculpt are phenomenal on that and on the figure itself. Good accessories. The attention to detail is just really something you don't normally see, especially at a reasonable price. Again, like Wukong, you have to buy the deluxe version to get all the stuff. And unfortunately, all the stuff doesn't include everything that you would want, which is why there's like an accessory set that isn't out yet, but it will be. And that's why he's not higher on the list. The accessory set comes with the wired cape that this guy doesn't have. That's a big drawback for me, because like the cloth cape looks nice and hangs nice, but if you're putting him in a like action pose, the cloth cape doesn't really help that out too much. So that's a problem. Not a big one, of course, but it is a problem. And then he's got that weird crotch where he's missing a chunk of his waist where the belt hides it, and that's just really annoying to handle. So like there are a couple issues here and there, but it is really an incredible figure. If you're into the Christian Bale Batman, definitely something you need to pick up. Now coming in at number 6, we have the Storm Collectibles Blanka, which is the large scale Blanka, because we haven't seen their little one yet, but in Storm Arena line. But this figure is maybe one of the best looking action figures of the painted sculpted variety ever. No soft goods, but it looks so good. The way they sculpted it, the way they painted it, the proportions, just everything about this figure is really nice, other than I guess like his hairline could be a little bit better, but that's pretty much the only gripe I have with it. It comes with really cool accessories too, which that's a standout thing right there. Effect pieces that are humongous. But yeah, this is probably the best overall Street Fighter release they've done in the Storm Collectibles line. Really phenomenal. And then coming in at number 5, we have the 3-0 DLX Optimus Primal. Now, mine happens to be the exclusive edition, which comes with a few extra accessories, but even if you don't have that, this thing is surprisingly good. Like the 3-0 robots have been really nice for a long time now. They've been putting out incredible product for good prices. And this thing is fairly expensive, but the attention to detail, the level of detail, the execution, the paint, the sculpt, and the articulation, and the accessories, it really gives you everything you could possibly want. Now, of course, you have to want a monkey transformer that doesn't transform. That's a specific thing. It's kind of a niche thing, I suppose. So it may not be up your alley, but in terms of what it is, they nailed it. It poses so well. There's so much going on with this figure, and it lights up. Yeah, there's just really nothing you could want more for this. It's really good. Of course, if you get the exclusive version, which you can't really get anymore. So you have to just get the regular version without the mask and the mace, but that's still pretty darn good. Okay, and then coming in at number 4, we have the LPZZ Arkham Knight Batman. And this figure is probably the figure I would say is the best Batman at this scale at this time. It's not a perfect release. If you saw my review, you know there are a few issues here and there, but just like the in-art one, it's loaded with detail. It's basically like if the Batman from the video game just popped right out of the screen. It looks exactly like it's supposed to within reason. The sculpt work, paint work, incredible, good accessories. It poses pretty darn well. It has the wired cape, which we want, so that's great. The only issue is the way the cape connects is very questionable, and I got a lot of people saying, well, you're supposed to tuck the cape under the shoulder pads. I know that. I played the game. I played the game for a long time, lots of hours. I get it. It's not made right. The cape doesn't fit under the shoulder pads properly, and since it's not anchored where it's supposed to be anchored, it's a problem, and that's why he's not higher on the list. The cape is unfortunate. The shoulder pads don't lock down in place in any real way. They're just articulated, so they move around, and the cape moves around as a result. So that cape issue alone is what kept it from being higher on the list, but still a really great figure at a very reasonable price. Now, speaking of reasonable prices, we have to talk about the Jada Street Fighter figures, and they're coming in at number 3. I'm going to include 3 of them because I didn't want to give them separate numbers. We have Blanka, Sagat, and Vega. These ones stand out to me the most. It's very hard to get better bang for your buck than the Jada Street Fighter figures. Blanka in particular is exceptional. The reason they're not higher on the list really is that they don't have that accuracy to the source material. They have those cartoony faces, and nobody can convince me that it's supposed to be that way. It's a style choice that Jada made, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it in that sense. It's just not accurate. They're trying to go for something, and it's just not working for me in every case. But that's why Vega, I think, is the best one so far, because his face is hidden and you can't really tell. But these figures pose so well. They look so good. They are, like, by far the best bang for your buck out of all action figures, except for maybe like one other line, which maybe we'll talk about. Maybe we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, even if you're not a Street Fighter fan, you should definitely check these guys out. They're really, really excellent, despite the plasticky nature and the maybe too cartoonish portraits. All right, coming in at number 2, we have the Sexy Ice Unkval Eliminator, which some of you are probably thinking, what the heck is that? And I'm telling you, I don't know. I think it's just their own IP, something they designed that looked cool, but it's an incredibly good action figure. I don't know that you can attain these anymore for a reasonable price, but it's one of the best action figures I've ever handled in terms of the finish, the design choices, the way they handled it. Not everything's perfect. I think the knee's a little bit weird, but these things pose really well and look good doing it. They come with a decent spread of accessories, maybe not everything you might want, but you got a whole lot of action figure there for your money between the sculpt, the articulation, and the price. It's not bad at all. And then the paint is good too. The paint's super clean. It's not like the most advanced paint job ever, but it is really nice. So yeah, if you don't have one of these yet, I don't know, maybe check out these football ones that are coming out, or if they release more stuff. I know it's hard to get things once they actually release, because they sell out right away and then you can't get them. But if they have more stuff coming out, keep your eye out, because it's good stuff. All right, and then lastly at number 1, I'm guessing you guys have already guessed it at this point, we have the Storm Arena Ryu or Ken. You can pick, I don't care which one. I'm including both of them because they're essentially the same figure. Again, not without their faults, but still, as far as bang for your buck goes, they top Jada. And if you ask me, which you are by watching this, they top Jada by a large margin. These are by far the best action figures per dollar I have ever handled. They pose really well. They look really nice. They come with the necessary accessories. There are 2 major gripes I have with these figures. One would be that the one set of hands are really weird looking. It's a super strange sculpt, which is unfortunate. And then we have issues like Ryu's knees don't match. The colors don't match quite right, and then, like, I guess some of the paint shading could be a little bit better. But they still blow everything else out of the water, even with those issues. These are so much fun for your money, so much posability. They really are well executed, well thought out figures, and they look great. They match the source material, like, as well as you can expect anything to do. So I don't know how Storm could have done any better, other than, I guess, with the QC for, like, the shading maybe not being lined up just right, or, like I said, Ryu's knees. But, well, no, they could have fixed the hands. Those fat hands could definitely be fixed, but that's really it, and they're just good. I guess there's no way for me to sell this. I'm saying basically the same thing for all of these figures. They look good, they pose well, they have good accessories, and they come in at a reasonable enough price for what you're getting. But I mean, it's true for all of these things, and it just applies a little bit differently for each one. And these are a perfect example of how good an action figure can be for your money. So I have to say these are the best. You can't beat them for the money at all. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's my top 10 list for the best action figures of 2025. I tried to make my rationale as reasonable as possible as I was doing it. But, you know, when you're just talking about a bunch of the best things, you end up saying the same thing for all of them, because it is the same for all of them. It just applies to each figure differently. But, you know, maybe your list is different. Maybe you think some of these are no good, or maybe you think something else is even better that should have been on the list. So let me know in the comment section below and we'll talk about it. But that's it for me for the best figures of 2025. Depending on the upload order, I have more top 10 lists coming through the end of the year, and if this is the last one, which I don't think it will be, but if it is, then look at the other days, because I've already uploaded a bunch. But that's it for this one, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.